This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's talk about Doris Ogala and Pastor Chris Okafor. I won't be silent. Doris Ogala hints at more names to expose Chris Okafor. So I'm going to play this video and then we'll talk.
See, Chris, it's high time you should know that Doris is not afraid of you. It's high time you should know that this pattern of putting fear in people, say I know her. Forget to be your girlfriend. Forget say apart from being your girlfriend, say I know the way you operate. If there's anybody that should be afraid, it's you. Because the worst, you have not seen the worst yet. You tell these people when they go time, then they come meet me say, make a day careful. Man, no comments. Man, they say they plan death threat. Say they say people they come buy yourself with me. All those people they send, don't try them with me, no work. All those messages, I know they fear death. I know they fear death. If you want to bring death to me, bring it. You see all these people they come around, they tell me, be careful, they won't buy you. Buy me. If you get the power. No fit. You cannot buy me. You cannot even send me to jail. You don't have the capacity. When I go to hide under Christian, they do rubbish. No. Don't they do this kind of stuff with me? I don't try them. I know that pattern, don't do them with me. I don't fear you, Chris. You know, some people up and down, they call they put still fear in me. Say you won't buy. You won't buy. You won't buy me. Make a day careful. Say you can buy me. Why you go buy me? You don't get that power. I dare you to try it. You don't get that power. See, Chris.
All right, that's one video.
It's that time you should.
I'm gonna play the other one. Don't worry, I'll bring you up to speed in a second. Let's play this other video.
So this is time for those my colleagues that Chris slept with, the one that slept with Chris. It's time for you guys to help yourselves by coming out to
Marriott,
expose and confess. Because if you don't, I'll be the one to expose you people. I know your names. That one child that came out to insult me the other time, as I give her her dozer, now she run, go inside, she not talk again. You be number one. Then another one where they sing. That elderly woman where they sing, way short, she be number 2. I get all of her chats. Please send and give me. Muna come out. This other one where they first start, way short. May you come out to join. Couple of I get to that. See, they talk about Doris. They come and Doris 9 scene pass. All of you now, we fuck my ex-boyfriend. I know now. And I will mention your name one after the other. All of you now, we fuck my ex-boyfriend. I will mention all of you now one after the other. He tell me everything. You mention all of you now, how I carry all our chat, I have it. When I just by yourself, come out now, respect yourself, come out, come confess what you do with them. So this is time for.
All right, so welcome back. Hey, Myra, good to see you. So we're catching up on this Chris Okafor versus Doris Ogala, and those are some latest videos from her. As you can see, she's not ready to rest. If you remember, Chris Okafor actually got on his knees and was begging this lady for forgiveness. That's what they said. I don't know if that's forgiveness or I don't know if that apology was really authentic. I mean, I'll let you guys guess. But she's not ready to give it up. Like, she's not ready to let go of whatever is going on. The thing is that when you offend this kind of people, I don't know if there's a way to really I don't know if there's ever a way to pay them off. Like, okay, so blackmailing, right? Somebody, because blackmailing doesn't mean who you're blackmailing is not necessarily, it doesn't mean that there's no truth in it, right? Blackmailing means blackmailing. It's like yesterday I was having a conversation with some people and we're talking about character assassination. I'll bring that up when we're talking about Regina and Ned. You know, and character assassination does not mean that you're not telling the truth, right? It has a broader scope than just if it's truth or lies, right? Same thing will be true for when somebody is blackmailing you. Somebody could be blackmailing you with the truth, right? So, but it's not just about if it's truth or lies. The bottom line is that don't ever put yourself in a position where you could be blackmailed by a person that has nothing to lose. Now, some of you are going to hear this and you're going to hear Chris Okafor being justified. There's only so much I can help you if you're listening to just a 10-minute segment and you're making up conclusions. There's not much I can do for you with regards to that. But let me read some of this comment. What you can take away from it is that this saga will continue. It is not over until it's over. Now, as we speak, Pastor Chris Okafor, last time he was public, he said was going on his honeymoon. I don't know if it's honeymoon or he's going back to go and cook a plan to make all of this go away forever. Okay, so good luck to him, because also don't forget that part of his enemies is very dark man. So good luck to him in terms of making this go away forever. Not only that, the police actually invited him and he was a no-show with the police at Manti in Lagos. So good luck to him, you know, because I think he's found himself inside of a serious issue here by ever dealing with this lady. Now, this lady is not innocent, right? This lady is not innocent. Can we all know this and know peace? Let me say here, Mario says this is low-key extortion, like the ones suing brothers Tyler Perry and Will Smith. So that's, I was supposed to cover those stories, but I didn't get to it. It's crazy, you know. Avocado, hello, Avocado says, for a prostitute reduces a man to a loaf of bread, and an adulteress preys upon his very life. Wow. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Wow. Is that in the scripture somewhere? It sounds like you're reading the scripture. But hey, I pray that we will not end up in this kind of situation. So, because I'm telling you, if you end up in our bad behaviors, we get away with a lot as human beings. But that's why we pray, because some things you might not be able to get away with them, you know. Somebody said keeping up with Doris and Chris, season 4, episode 165. In everything you do, avoid people who have nothing to lose, who don't have a name to protect. I mean, there's no way that this young lady has anything to protect. Is that a good or a bad thing? It's a bad thing for her in the grand scheme of things. Guess who else is a bad thing for? It's a bad thing for Pastor Chris, obviously. Hit the like button. So she's not ready to be, she's not going to be silent. She's now threatening to mention names. Now, keep in mind that this young lady was married to somebody, and she left her husband to go and be with a boyfriend who is a pastor, and all of this started because the boyfriend, quote unquote, moved on. Pastor Chris moved on to go marry the love of his life, Pearl Okafor, and now all hell broke loose. Okay, so Proverbs 6:26-27. Thank you for that. That's a fantastic quote for what we're talking about right now. It's key. No one is perfect, but this is why we say, as much as you can, try not to get into this kind of problems, because there are enough people out there who have nothing to lose. It's not majority of people, but the minority of people that have nothing to lose, all it takes is one to destroy your life and your reputation. That's all it takes. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. You see, what do you think about Doris Ogala? right? What is your take on her in particular? But we have some other stuff to cover with regards to her. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let me move on to some other trendy stories around the world. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoy this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. All right, welcome back. We'll continue to talk about Doris Ogala. I see a video here from a lady, and she has something to say. Let's listen to it, and let's take it from there. And while we're at that, Marriott, I think you have a mod badge. If you can help me block Benjamin. Oh, maybe you can't. We're on the other platform. All right, I'll do it.
This Doris Ogala, I'm sorry to say, is a disgrace to womanhood. When I tell you guys that men are going through a lot in marriage, if a lot of men comes out to say what they are going through in the hands of the women they marry, a lot of women will forever remain single because a lot of men will see it as a high risk to get married. Let's listen to this together.
And that was my ex-husband's bed. You were touching yourself on your ex-husband's bed, and you sent the video to me.
She's touching herself on her husband's bed to send to another man. She got married to her husband. She is not in love with her husband. She's in love with another man. You accept to marry a man you don't love while you are in love with another man, and you are there in that marriage, depriving him of his rights, disrespecting him, cheating on him in his bed with another man, and you think your life will get better. Let's listen to this again.
Thank you, Darren Marriott. Thank you.
Your ex-boyfriend asks you to leave your marriage and you left. How can someone be beautiful and don't have sense? My empathy and courage goes to your ex-husband, Oga Kingsley. You really went through a lot. Thank God you finally move on happily. Only God knows what your ex-husband went through.
All right, so this young lady, her name is, it looks like it says Delphine Sanjo. Okay, I don't know who she is, but she's talking about Doris Ogala, and she's telling her story, which she told herself. So as soon as in that last video, we talked about Doris Ogala, who is now actively blackmailing Pastor Chris Okafor, who was the ex-boyfriend, according to her. So now this young lady is pulling out some of the stories that people have seemed to forgot a little bit, right? Because remember, she said she was married to another person who was like a childhood friend who she never loved. So here's something I wanted to extract out of this, right? Marrying a person that you never loved, marrying a person that you're not in love with, to be more precise, okay? Marrying a person that you're not in love with. I was having a conversation the other day, and somebody was actually saying, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you grow to love people. I'm telling you, the kind of things that we say, I think a lot of it, again, like I said, when it comes to us Nigerians, is a bunch of English grammar issues, okay? I feel like if there's a way to get back to using Yoruba, Igbo, native language, at least Pidgin English, which I am terrible at, to teach some of this stuff, I think people will get a lot more value than using English language. Because even if I know how to speak all the English in the world, some words are misinterpreted wrongly to mean something else. But I feel like the nuances that we really need to understand when it comes to relationships are inside of our native tongue. And may God help us when it comes to that, because I don't know where to start from with that. But back to this young lady, marrying a person that you're not in love with. Well, it takes certain types of people, okay? But they're not always all the way back. Some of them have been here in Yankee for 30 years. It's just that you can remove some people from the village, but you can't remove the village from inside of them. I'm talking about not grammar per se right now, mindset wise, you know? And they believe that that's a possible thing. Like you can actually pull that off. Like you can actually so again, being in love with the person, we're talking purely affection, we're talking emotional, we're talking about being potentially infatuated by the person, right? When you are getting married to a person, you might be infatuated by the idea of them or by the idea of what the future holds, but you're infatuated, right? The idea is that it's purely emotional, but there is loving a person meaning you understand that comes with sacrifice. You like a person enough to want to do life with them, and you're sacrificing and you're giving, you're compromising, and but you're also doing that from a place of abundance, meaning it's not something that if it's true love, you can't run out of it because you're also loving yourself first. You see, there's a lot of jimbo that I just said, right? And that can get very confusing easily. And before we get to the next time we're having this conversation, you notice that it's easy to lose all of the ideas I've just said, okay? But I learned this, the first time I read about this was probably in the book 5 Love Languages years ago. And it's really, there's a difference between loving a person and being in love with them, okay? You're in love with potentially a fake version of them, just the best foot they're putting forward, right? So, but we need you to be in love with the person you're marrying. We can't say, oh, we're going to go into a marriage and then you're not really in love with the person that you will grow in love. You're counting on the fact that you will grow to like this person. That's precisely what we're talking about. The very minimum you can do is make sure you like this person. When I say like, I'm not talking like as a friend. I'm talking about when you like a boy when you were in GSS2, when you were in SS2. I'm talking about just liking them, liking that person, right? At minimum, right? But oh no, it's kind of ugly. Right? You see a Paned, you say, okay, because Paned is handsome. I found out that a bunch of people find him handsome yesterday. And that, again, it's subjective, right? So they have the right to feel that way. But let's say you find him ugly and you say, oh, I will grow to love him. No, you won't. You won't. At the very minimum, even if you would, it is dangerous to go into a life partnership with a person with such mindsets. And we have a lot of Nigerian girls doing that today, especially if there's resources, there's money, there's status, there's fame involved. They talk themselves into, or they allow a mother, shout out to Regina's mother. They allow a mother to talk them into, don't worry, who love help. These are the things we say by extension, all the way. Sometimes we say it all the way to saying love is not enough. Who cares about love? Who cares about happiness? We say all these things and it sounds cute on the surface, but it's going to bite you in the butt. Because sometimes all you have left when you enter crisis inside of a marriage, all you have left is the friendship. That's what you have left, just the friendship. And that friendship is good enough to get you through some trying times. And then, of course, you can grow to love that person again. You can also go, but you need some kind of baseline. You can't just go in there empty and just say it's just going to happen. And that's what Doris said she did. She went to go marry, and guess what happened? She started filming herself, her noodles, on the matrimonial bed and sending it to a boyfriend who is the pastor. May God help us. These kind of things are happening in the world. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. I want to move on to some other trendy stories around the world. So in terms of empathizing with the young man, I hope she's fine, but I'm not sure if I know enough about their relationship to be able to empathize with her. I don't have enough of that story, but it's quite crazy for anybody to go into a marriage with a person that you don't like. Please, let's avoid that altogether. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. All right, welcome back. Do you remember this young lady on the screen? That's AY, Maku, and Mabel. Maku. So they ended up back on the news. If you recall, a little while ago, there was sadly, I think this is I think they broke up in 2025, you know, and they were actually married for a while. Sadly, they were married for a while. And looking from the outside in, from the surface in, these are the kind of people you're like, married couple goals. But sadly, we have too many of these stories ending up in the poto. Okay? Too many of these stories end up in the poto. Because oftentimes, somebody asked me, say, how many marriages do you think are happily married? I hate to break it to you. Okay, I hate to break this to everyone. How many marriages do I think are happily married? My estimation that I said, was, drum roll, 25%. And of course, a lot of people are disappointed about that. Way too many people are disappointed that I said so only 25% of marriages are happily married. But I have my reasons for saying that. You know, I mean, obviously we know that 50% or thereabouts of marriages are ending up in divorce, but that number is not to be. We got to be careful where we're quoting that because it's some more granular. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Let me just make sure I turn this thing on. Sorry about that. So we need to get into some more granular details of that number because in recent times that number is dropping. And but it's also because not too many people are getting married, not like back in the days, you know. And the number that skyrocketed over the past decade or two is also as a result of a lot of people that got married in the 80s and the 90s also getting divorced. They enter into this zone where we are right now, where a lot of people are confused about modern marriages and modern relationship. And don't forget that in the middle of all of that, a lot of people they yield to religion to solve their marital issues. And the person you're preaching to the choir when you make it all about religion, right? If you make the rules around religion in terms of how to keep a marriage together, oftentimes at least one of those people, you're just preaching to the choir. They're done. They want to leave, you know, and they're ready to move on. Oftentimes they already started relationships inside of the marriage, even before they left. Oftentimes they already broke up with you long before they pull the trigger. You know how we quote the number, 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Well, you're talking about the paperwork. They left each other long before all of that, you know. So, and I think many of us are still not paying attention to that. I think the scripture is a very solid book if you're reading it right, and if both of you subscribe to the principles in it, right? The key objective is unity, right? You need to be on the same page, a united front with your partner, you and your partner against the world. But when you're divided, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So if the other person already feels like you're using the Bible to manipulate that, which is a major possibility. Yes, people use the scriptures to manipulate each other, right? If you're using the Bible to manipulate each other, or your partner feels like you've used the Bible to manipulate them for the longest, now obviously they don't subscribe to your same belief system. And once they don't subscribe to your same belief system, then, you know, the ideologies you're going to pull out of there, it's not going to work because they don't feel safe, they don't feel secure, and they already feel like they need to defend themselves against you. Okay. So why am I talking about this today? Why did they end up on the news? Because there are speculations that she's with another man, a guy called Idris Aregbe, allegedly by bloggers. Bloggers are carrying around that she's with another man, and this has been the guy that she had been possibly dating or having some kind of relationship with before she actually left the marriage. If you recall, if you remember when he decided to announce that they were no longer together, AY Malcolm, which we analyzed here at that time, comedian AY Malcolm actually came out and said something to the effect of no one is innocent, something like that. We're seeing more and more of those kind of stories where people will say, hey, no one is innocent here, don't try to play the victim here. We're seeing more and more of them. And the reality is that, like I said, there's no vacuum. Nature does not like vacuum. If you're not emotional, I'm not blaming him by any stretch. I'm saying this on both sides. Nature does not like vacuum. And if you are not emotionally present or available to your partner, there's no such thing as vacuum. I just want you to know this and know peace. Oh, you can't force a person. A cheater is a cheater. Now, see, you do shalaye. Okay? You're doing shalaye.
Explain. Because no evidence.
Nature does not like vacuum. I'm not saying it's your fault. Matter of fact, you might be right. Maybe there's nothing you could do about it. Maybe you being with that person is just a vacuum in itself.
You're right.
But it's the same conversation that we were having when I talked about Yola Doce and when I said we don't know what happened in their marriage, and some people take an offense to that because they can't help themselves. They're gender warriors. It's the same thing I'm saying here. Now, this time I'm saying it on the side of AY Malcolm. All the speculation is that he was not available. Okay, but I want to use that to say to you, how do you know if you're not available? It's not by you agreeing or disagreeing with the idea of being available. It's about taking the time to study, like possibly you might not be available. And as a matter of fact, even those of us that know this at the theoretical standpoint, it's a struggle. It's an ongoing struggle. Sometimes you're available, sometimes you're not available. Life is happening, right? But what do? We check in. You check in with your partner to make sure all is well on a regular basis, just like you do everything else at your job. Anything at your job, you prevent adversaries to come in there, right, and devour and destroy everything. What do? You're proactive, you are reactive, but also you're continuing to check in. You're always scanning the environment for vulnerabilities. Why won't you apply the same thing when it comes to relationships? Or even especially a marriage, like life partnership with the person? Why won't you do the same thing? So I'm saying all of this to really say this. They're speculating that she has moved on with somebody else. Okay, there's a report I'm looking at here. Let me see if I can put it up. Comedian AY ex-wife Mabel steps out with her alleged billionaire lover. Photos trend online. Comedian AY Malcolm's estranged wife Mabel has stirred reactions online after being spotted with her alleged new partner Idris. For you just want to judge her that she moved on so soon. I don't do judging. I just don't. I don't see the benefit in it. Okay, it's too late. Usually when you're judging, it's already too late. Okay, you know what? It's not too late. What can you learn from this situation? That's never too late. And that's what we focus on here. So celebrity journalist Stella Demokokos shared photos of the pair at a recent high-profile event, quickly drawing the attention of fans and social media users. Reports claim that Idris Aregbe is a handsome politician, a Lagos State governor's special advisor on tourism, arts, and culture, with influential connections, and is allegedly the reason Mabel declined reconciliation with AY following the end of their marriage. The photos sparked a wave of reactions online, with many users congratulating Mabel and wishing her well in what is believed to be a new relationship. Sharing the images, wrote Here's wishing her all the best in her newfound happiness. Okay, that is quite suggestive. But here's the thing. Some say, oh, but she should have moved because there was speculation that she was already with this person. Well, maybe not. You never know the nature of their relationship. You will never know. You can sit down there and enjoy that all you want. What I'm telling you is that nature does not like vacuum. If you leave your relationship, I'm not saying AY did that, I don't know. But if you leave your relationship where there's potentially some side type of vacuum and you think you're always going to get back to them and they'll be there available for you, you might just be kidding yourself. And this happens on both sides. So what's the point here? Always check in with your partner. Make sure all is well. Make sure you're having a good time. Do not assume that they're always going to be there. We all make these terrible assumptions. People have options, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's just the right timing, the right environment, and before you know it, somebody will snatch your spouse from you. You better believe it. If you don't believe it, okay, you're a special type of person, I guess. You're a unicorn. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. All of us are billionaire. Yes. Let's move on. Hit the like button. I'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Because in that situation, I did have the bag, right? And he felt insecure and he used to piss me off. I couldn't understand, like, why do you not think that you're enough, right? And I used to sun the fuck out of him. And like you were saying, what's that word you said? Emasculate him.
Woo!
And that's not a good feeling.
You were sunning them, huh?
Sunning.
And then you cheated on.
Why? Because I cheated on that person. And so this album is about the female version of taking accountability for infidelity. Because in that situation, I did have the bag, right? And he felt insecure and he used to piss me off. I couldn't understand, like, why do you not think that you're enough, right? And I used to sun the fuck out of him. And like you were saying, what's that word you said? Emasculate. Happened in my life. So I'm texting and snatched my phone and he reads my text messages. And I'm texting the guy, once again, you shifted my uterus.
Once again, you shifted her uterus. Jesus Christ.
And he really read it.
You read it?
It is. But I broke him and I knew that.
He ain't deserve you anyway.
I feel sorry for him.
I do. Because let me tell you, like in the film.
He ain't deserve you. That motherfucker wasn't strong enough. He wasn't what you was describing a while ago. That motherfucker weak.
I really happy.
All right, so they're calling him weak. After God, fear women. After God, fear women. So after God, fear men.
Oh, beauty.
All right, so obviously, infidelity is not gender-based. Infidelity is not gender-based. Can we be clear on that? But let me go through some of these comments. It'll be interesting, I'm sure. The caption says, after God, fear women. This is on Welcome to the Culture. At least she's taking accountability, though. Tamar reveals that she cheated on her past partner. Tamar is Tony Braxton's sister. She's also a singer. And she knows it was wrong. Listen, it will take a strong man to work things out after seeing that text. You shifted the uterus. Jesus. Somebody says she's lucky she's here to tell that story. Okay. Are you threatening her life? What do you mean? Somebody says she low-key don't even sound sorry about it. Damn. She says she broke him. What do you want? You want her to cry? The more she speaks makes me like her even less. Tony is the biggest star for a reason. Well, Tony is about 50 years older than her. Why are you comparing the siblings? Jesus Christ. And then, of course, they have Yala say, out of order. out of order. Voila. Let me see here. Somebody say Jada doesn't find that funny at all. I don't find it funny. Me either. I think infidelity destroys lives. That doesn't mean we're perfect. Okay, it just means it's something you have to work beyond your discipline. Okay, because I know some of you think you're disciplined. Good for you. That's the more reason why you need to work, because he who stands, right? You have to be careful lest he fall. I know I'm butchering that scripture, but something like that. Okay. Your righteousness is filthy rag. You need to have proactive measures against this kind of things. Okay, just against any kind of vulnerability or potential destruction that can come to your situations. You need to not just count on your righteousness. Okay, not everything is to be shared. Well, yeah, they're public figures, I guess. Then good guys always get the short end of the stick. See, good guys always think they get the short end of the stick. You know why? Because they're always counting on their righteousness. That's why. So what are you about to victim shame? Are you going to blame the guy? You missed the point. Keep listening. Sidebar, Joe Corny, he needs to shut it. He a pick me type dude. Okay, why? Because Fat Joe, I think that's their podcast. Joe and Joe. That's the name of the podcast? Something like that. Joe and Jada. I guess it's saying that guy was a weak guy. Well, it depends on what you mean by that. There are certain contexts where I could say he's a weak guy in terms of there's certain people, they just go out of their league. It's like me calling Paned weak as compared to Regina. In terms of what they were trying to cook, it took them 7 years before the reality comes to fruition. But is he really a weak person? Is he a weak guy? Is he an attack on his character? I guess that's where people mix it all together. But I don't think he meant any harm. Shout out to that young man. He probably moved on. He's probably happy. It was probably the best thing that happened to him. He can't see that in the short term, of course, right? So let's be calming down. Jada definitely should have torn the flag when Joe said he doesn't deserve you. Okay, all right. Somebody's catching feelings. Okay, you're right. It is Tamar that doesn't deserve the other man. That's not the lesson you should get out of infidelity, just so you know. Lord, these celebrities talk too much. I missed the National Enquirer where the news was fake about the famous people, but entertainment. Oh, that's a good point. But hey, we're in a different era. They have to keep up. They have to be on every podcast, and they have to be authentic, meaning sometimes they'll jabber and say the wrong things that will rub us off the wrong way. It is what it is. Let's see. The man being the breadwinner is almost always going to be the best case scenario. Well, it depends on what you mean by the bread. Are you talking about money? Because that's not even enough these days. How do I know? Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. You need me to give you another name? Dangote? If you mean money by bread, then you're wrong. Okay. And money might make it easier. It might help you to hide under you might be able to hide deeper issues with money, but money comes and goes. What happens when there's no money, even if it's temporary? What happens? Do you have enough? Do you have substance inside that place? Because if you don't, but even money, even if it's constant, like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, if she sees money, if all you bring to the table is money, she sees money for 2 years, then it becomes the norm. Then she needs something else. Do you have that something else? You don't. Okay. And then you'll be shocked why a lot of married women are sleeping with gate man and driver. I beg. There's more to this than trying to moralize this is the wrong way to go, always. And also when you make it about money, it's always the wrong way to go. On the surface, I know what you mean, but it's very short term in nature. Somebody said she messed up with Vince. I don't think she was talking about Vince. And I think Vince was also problematic himself. Vince was not equipped. See, when we say weak, we don't mean him as the person or his character. He also was not equipped to handle this kind of lady. Now, you might argue that there's no man that can handle her. Well, because she's single, maybe, but we can have that conversation another day. But let me tell you something: infidelity destroys lives. How do you mitigate against infidelity? It is not by making it just a moral thing, it's about understanding that you're a human being and you must flee from all. Right? May God help you. May God help you. Position yourself. It's about positioning. Make sure you're positioned in an environment where you are able to focus on your purpose, your mission, your life mission, your purpose. If you're engaged in that, you will have very little time for bullshit. Okay. And if you're a righteous person, congratulations. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. All right, let's listen to this video. Let's bring Pastor Jamal Bryant back to the pulpit.
A preacher presented his wife the other day, and I guess you call that a flesh-colored dress. I don't know. It's black dress and flesh color. It gives the illusion that she's not wearing anything underneath. And I heard the preacher, when he defended her dress, by saying, first of all, he bought the dress. And then he said, I want to address people who don't know anything, who haven't been anywhere, who don't know nothing. So I guess our objection to a man of the cloth presenting his wife in public looking like a $2 whore.
Jesus.
A preacher presented his wife the other day, and at least two. Now, I didn't say she was. I'm not talking about her. My statement is not about her. My statement is about him.
Stop the cat.
I said he presented his wife.
Stop the cap.
And he said he bought the dress. Those are his words, not mine. There is nothing classy about that. There's nothing modest about that. He said we haven't been anywhere. What I would like to know is where have you been? Where did he go? So I'll make sure that I never go there, because I don't want to go anywhere and I come back with that kind of a notion. Now I will say this, and this is a comment about my wife, not his wife. This is a comment about my wife. Two. My wife wouldn't have done it, no matter what I said. She just would have said, honey, I'll wear this for you. I'll wear this for you at home when we know the grandkids aren't coming. Because there is such a thing as decency. Decency. Y'all don't like me. But in public, at an event where everyone will see, I don't know of a greater way for a man to demean his wife. And if he doesn't think that that is demeaning her, there is something wrong with him. But then again, we're also talking about the guy who looked at Cam Newton's legs and told Cam he had pretty legs. My wife wouldn't have done it.
All right, so what we're talking about, before I play Pastor Jamal Bryant's response to this Bishop Patrick Wooden, he responded. But what are we talking about? Well, I covered a story here. Was it yesterday or last year? I'm not sure. about Pastor Jamal Bryant. On December 2025, they were at what they call the UNCF Atlanta's Mayor's Masked Ball. And then the wife was wearing, she was wearing some kind of dress. Let me if I can pull it up. Yeah, I think I found it. She was wearing some kind of dress, and hold on one second. Let me pull this up so I can put some put a picture to what we're talking about here. All right, here we go. All right, so she's wearing. Okay, it's right there on the screen actually. So it looks like they're creating an illusion that she's nude underneath. The illusion is what matters. Optic is everything, of course, right? And of course, this pastor doesn't seem he didn't like it, But also, Pastor Jamal Bryant didn't like the fact that they were attacking his wife. And my stand was that I would defend my wife too, even if she's wrong. But I'm also indirectly acknowledging that that's kind of not necessarily wrong, but indecent exposure, if you want to call it that, if you want to call it decency, modesty, those are all valid. Like I said, the church, of course, you should expect that they will judge you on that. It is what it is. I see. Shout out to April Johnson. She actually left a comment on that last video. She said, "Was the dress modest? No. Don't matter if he likes it, she likes it, etc. The Bible teaches modesty. Period. Y'all better wake up and come out of her, my people. Time is running out. Are you in the world or of the world?" With Pastor Bryant, his fruits reveal who he is. How about you? Okay, all right. How about me? I don't know. Mara, that's a good point. You know where we're going with this. No, actually, I thought you were talking about something. Why is this pastor talking about it? Well, he's tackling it, but Pastor Jamal is going to talk about it. But I thought you were talking about why is Pastor Jamal talking about it? Yeah, like if I were him, if I'm putting my full chest out there and I'm having my wife wearing, I would not respond though. It must mean I'm looking for virality and I will not be responding to everybody. Somebody said, shout out to Liv, that David said, when I was 11 years old, I said to my father that I thought preachers, politicians, and pimps were the same. Shoulder shrug. And somebody responded, you were a very bright child. But let's see what Pastor Jamal Bryant had to say about this actually. Let's have it. Okay, let's go.
I got so many preachers that's gonna preach about me week in and week out. And I'm amazed. I ain't even gonna call no names. But this is what I'll say to you. I find it interesting, the preachers who talk about preachers. Go check it out. Let me know if I'm wrong. The preachers who talk about preachers have never gone viral preaching about Jesus.
What?
Because I got so many preachers that's going to preach about me week in and week out. And I'm amazed. I ain't even going to call no names.
Wait, the objective is to go viral or to win souls? Those are two different things. Going viral and winning soul, one soul at a time. One, all it takes is one at a time. Okay, don't let me get into preaching, but I'll leave that to you guys, okay? So I say your cousin Gino Jennings has called you out. What says you? But bro, you hardly ever talk about Jesus. Hey. See, when you talk too much, you tell on yourself or you actually expose yourself. Even if that's your profession, including me, myself. But let's see. The ex-wife had something to say about this. Let's listen in.
I know you don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. I don't see nothing wrong with Jamal's wife's dress. Did you see all the discourse online?
Yes.
I don't see anything wrong with that dress.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is the thing. People going to have their commentary one way or the other. And you would think you would not feed into the commentary, Pastor.
That part.
So her dress was fine, but and people going to have, say whatever they want to say. Let's just not feed into it. That's all.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, because that's when you make it unnecessarily bigger than it is.
Yeah, you bring more attention to it for sure. Yeah. But I also think, I don't know, I'm just like, it was an unnecessary discussion, period. Yeah, so just leave it alone. But, it was made a moment for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe use a different platform for that. I don't know that Sunday service is the place to talk about.
Agreed.
A dress.
I'm not going to tell him when and where to say whatever he has to say.
Yeah.
But maybe it was a Bible study moment, right?
Or a podcast moment,
not on
like
Sunday.
Mara said.
You know,
Right.
let's Sunday for the word of the Lord.
Yes. Because I didn't see the connection to the word of the Lord. You know, sometimes it's like, I know you don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about
All
it.
right. So again, you know, my take is still my take on this. I can appreciate defending your wife, but let me add this into it. Context also matter. And context, who's to know what to what extent. You know, I agree 100% that it shouldn't have been on the pulpit. But even better yet, though, if you know you're going to put your full chest out there as a pastor and have your wife wearing this kind of dress, I think you're better off not responding. Just double down next time. I will just be careful, because remember the story of Pastor Franklin and Megan Good? Yeah, it was one of these. At one point, it was like, oh, the church is judging them, But those things, believe it or not, affects the relationship. It does. It does affect the relationship. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. You think, remember Pella and Jarvis? Everybody should just leave us alone. Well, you're a public figure and people are judging you. I'm not saying you should listen to every single one of them, but it's going to affect you. Make sure that you are matching energy across the board. For a pastor, personally, if I was a pastor, my wife is not going to wear that kind of dress. Okay. As a matter of fact, today, a lot of people will say, oh, like if you go to my church right now, for years, people will suggest a pastor or something because I'm somewhat a thought leader, right? I say no, because I want to curse. I want to say fuck. So, and I don't want to be a pastor that will say, I don't want to be a pastor. I don't curse that much, but I curse when I feel like it. There's certain expressions I want to make that I feel better using those words. And I would not want to be a pastor. So I'm actually judging myself up front. So in that same token, I think Pastor Jamal Bryant should be wiser than that. It's just like Franklin recently, he used the word shit on his podcast. Like, that's not necessary. Okay. If you're going to be a Franklin, a gospel singer, the greatest gospel singer since the beginning of mankind, there you can sacrifice that word. Okay. I chose not to sacrifice that word because I don't care about being a pastor. It's not my calling. Okay, so I understand where the church is coming from, but if he's going to face with his full chest all this response that he's making right now, they're all emotionally driven. You need to slow down. It doesn't look too good. Yes, I said I would defend my wife, but I will still say there's a balance in everything. I would just say, hey, slow down and stop being so defensive and be defensive from an emotional standpoint. You know, if I'm going to make any statement about that, maybe be one statement in passing, like, oh, she wore. Thank you. Thanks for caring. Thanks. You know, I won't make a whole speech, and I definitely will not come back and be doing some more shalaye around this one because there's no evidence.
We go explain because no evidence.
Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification. Churches are hard on their first ladies, yes, and it's going to continue to be that way. It is what it is. Just like they're hard on the first lady of a country. To whom much is given, much is required. I'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world. This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
I don't think I'm done. Sammy.
But then me, I have one condition. You have to give me a very nice special chair.
Jesus, what are you saying? Okay, stand up. What for you, idiot? See, do you want a golden nice chair? They're going important for you. What are you saying?
Don't worry yourself. Because of you, she will put that knife in the US. Come back.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll cut down my tree.
Alpha, they call my banana. People they say banana now. You want me?
Go, must.
See,
what give you job now? I give you job. You know, say normally now she dey US. She be one make some kind of travel again. But I swear to God, you know you she go come down. Don't worry yourself.
Trust me, I will.
This guy go. Do you want me to naked for you?
I will.
Please. Do you want me to naked for you? What do you want? Do you want me to naked for you? Bro, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah. What has nobody done for you, man? Why are you doing this? Oh, God.
All right. What were we looking at? Oh my God, I know you guys are wondering what we're looking at. We're looking at Regina Daniel. Okay, Regina Daniels, aka ex-wife of Ned Nwoko, Senator Ned Nwoko. How old is Senator Ned again? Because I know we've covered this story, but there was speculations a few days ago that she might be with this young man that you're looking at on the screen, a new boyfriend, something like that. But it's all speculation, like I said on that last episode of the Keeping Up with the Regina Daniels and Pastor Ned. I said Pastor, Senator Ned Nwoko. As I said, people are obsessed right now with her, and I think she's on her way back to Nigeria. As per what you heard in that video, she's going to be on that guy's live stream. Live streaming or streaming is the new thing in Nigeria right now, which is what blew up the likes of Pella, Kataefe, and a couple of other, even Gege, our biggest. Sorry, I take that back. Remember a few days ago, I was saying the most popular relationship coach. Okay, actually, I'm still right. The most popular relationship coach in Nigeria today is Blessing CEO. Okay. I didn't say it's good or bad. I'm just telling you that's the most popular. Okay. The most popular financial literacy coach in Nigeria / relationship is Gigi. But those guys, they blew up because of streaming on TikTok and stuff like that. Being an influencer. So she's gonna be on some guys. So she's coming back. They said from the United States or United Kingdom. I'm not sure. Okay. So and now people are starting to wonder because Ned is still insisting that she goes to rehab if she wants to see her kids, because reportedly she didn't get to see her kids all through Christmas period. Well, she also traveled for the past few weeks. She left the nation to probably go and get some much needed rest, right? So, but again, over the past few days, people have been speculating that she's with this young man. And I heard some men on social media yesterday say, she will get dumped by this young man just the same way that she was dumped by Ned. And that kind of confused me a little bit because I thought it was her that dumped Ned. But there were other issues involved, to be fair. There are other issues involved, to be fair, because she was also reportedly, she was getting high. Even though allegedly, according to Regina, she only got high because Ned found it sexy. Found her even sexier when she got high. So yesterday, I heard a couple of young men and women talking about this, and they were trying to compare, did she know what she was doing? Was she a child? My personal opinion is that she was a child. I don't care if she was 22. And I'm not talking about legal age of when you're a child or not. I'm not talking about your dictionary. I could care less about your Oxford dictionary. I'm talking about in real life. You wouldn't want your 22-year-old daughter to get with 95-year-old Ned. Sorry, it's not 95. Let me find his real age. I keep saying that. Ned Nwoko. Oh, no, okay, 65. He's only 65, but still, on a normal day, you wouldn't want your 22-year-old daughter to get with. Okay, she's no longer 22. She's 27. On a normal day, you wouldn't want your 28-year-old daughter to get with a Ned. Can we be honest? Can we just be honest? Even this picture looks like that's the daughter behind him over there, right? So we know what we're saying, okay? But there was a part of the conversation that came up that I really wanted to talk about, and it's about character assassination. Okay, and I thought it to be a good point to bring up today. In addition to this, I think Ned wants her back. Okay, why? Because of his reputation. It would just look good. They said he's about to become the governor of a potential new state, so he has, And somebody said, wait, well, if you're about to become a governor, you can't allow just somebody to just dump on the internet. And I remind everybody, wait, that somebody is not just somebody. That somebody is his wife. Okay, that's a part of his family. So it's not just somebody. I agree 100%. I agree 100% that if a random person, like let's say for example, very dark man jumps on the internet and start to defame my name, I will sue his pens and everything in that NGO. I will take everything from him. Okay, I agree with that. But this is not just somebody. This is his wife, and that makes all the difference. Fortunately or unfortunately. So the fact that it will jump on the internet and in the name of telling the truth, or he must set the record straight, he threw his wife under the bus as to be on drug. Either it is truth or not. Is that character assassination or not? She looks more like granddaughter. Is that character assassination or not? So Nigerians have found out yesterday that Nigerians think when you say character assassination, it must mean that somebody told a lie. No, it doesn't mean somebody told a lie. Okay? No, character assassination does not always require a lie. Sometimes it involves a lie. Okay? When it often involves, I'm reading something. While it often involves falsehoods, often, okay, why? Because people are telling a story, they're painting a narrative. Of course, they're actively looking to paint you badly, so they might exaggerate. Exaggeration is a form of lie. Or they might elaborate way too much beyond what the actual reality is, right? Well, that's what they call exaggeration, right? Because remember, they are assassinating your character, okay? So in the midst of that, we know that you could tell a lie, you could tell a truth, but it's not really about if you're telling a lie or a truth, right? So even when it comes to defamation of character, right, you have to prove that it's 100% a lie, right? Like there's no doubt, right? But why are we talking about proof? Because again, remember, this is not just somebody off the street jumping off the internet to tell on her husband. This is your wife. So if you're going to be the person with the greater power, some type of power, at least political power, at least police power, at least being the person of caliber, quote unquote, some people told me, yes, they profess that this is a man of integrity. A young lady told me, like, I met him before. He's a gentleman. I said, yes, he needs to be a gentleman. He deserves to be he better be a gentleman. He's a politician, for crying out loud. A lawyer of decades. Of course, he better be a gentleman. This has nothing to do with when we're talking about a conjugal matter between husband and wife, or even just family. Family is family. As much as you can, you want to protect that as much as you can. I'm not saying it's an absolute, but if what she did is jump on the internet and say, "Let me go, leave me alone. I am not. I am a queen in my house, but in Ned Uwoko, I am not. I am a nobody." That speaks to someone who is just emotional, somebody who clearly don't know what she's doing, who is clearly probably still a child in her head. Well, you kind of married her when she was a child, in my opinion. I'm not saying legally, right? So she probably never outgrew being a child, because she has to keep up with this crazy image. And then she's realizing that it's not enough to just want to cry in a jet, that this is real life. And no, she decided to move on, right? She decided to leave and dump Paned. And the best solution Paned could come up with is to come out and tell on his wife that she's on drugs. Is that character assassination or not? Even if I'm not saying it is a lie, because we don't know. I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Okay. Even if it is true, is that character assassination or not? That's the question that I have with regards to that. Let me know what you think about that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I will be right back. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and #1 Red Flag, yours free
manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. So good to see you again. Hit the like button, share, subscribe to me. Right now, I want to talk about why most relationships fail. Okay, I want to talk about why most relationships fail. The 5 relationship mistakes nobody wants to admit, and even worse, no one is teaching this anywhere. So let's get into it. Let me see here. Okay, good. Mistake number one, ego over accountability. Mistake number one, ego over accountability. This is a struggle for a lot of people. I found this is a struggle for a lot of people. All right. And ego, when I say ego, I'm not talking about the one that you would admit to, or I'm not talking about just being a pride or a prideful person. I'm talking about pride in its most toxic form. Okay. Accountability doesn't always mean you admit to wrongdoing. It doesn't mean it's not the same thing as blaming. It's not the same thing as faulting. It's not the same thing as guilt. I found that a lot of Nigerians especially think that accountability and blame are the same thing. They say you cannot be accountable. You cannot hold people accountable, or you cannot hold yourself accountable without blaming yourself. Those are 2 different things. Okay. And I'll suggest you do some more studies around that. Okay. But let me get through it. I'll come back to it if I have some time. Mistake number 2, public image replacing private integrity. We're not talking about just celebrity. I'm talking about how you're perceived outside, the obsession with how you're perceived. Like a lot of us will move from a place of what would people say rather than internal integrity. When I say integrity, I'm not talking about honesty, because usually when you guys are talking about honesty and truth, you're talking about still seeking validation from other people. Now I'm talking about integrity with respect to who you truly are inside, right? And the reality I'm finding, the truth that I'm finding out is that a lot of people, rather than establish themselves and make sure they establish who they truly are first, right? They'll rather worry about what other people think. Even when it gets all the way down to their relationship and marriage, their concern is usually what other people think outside of the relationship itself. They're disconnected from integrity with respect to the relationship, and they're much more concerned about what it looks like on the outside. And I put it to you, even when it comes to infidelity, most people don't necessarily infidelity is not their deal breaker. It's the embarrassment that tend to come with that most people are afraid of. So again, it goes back to public image. Let me go to number 3. Mistake number 3, hyper focus on red flags for emotional soothing. Okay, red flag. We still have married people that have been married for 13 years, much more concerned about red flags. You know, what did you do? What were you looking at? Did you not discuss these things? The hyper focus on red flags. Yes, I wrote a book called Number 1 Red Flag with the help of my wife. It's called Number 1 Red Flag. But if you read the book, you will know that, yeah, it has deeper meanings than just becoming a walking red flag. Most people are hyper focused on red flags, and by doing that, they become a walking red flag. As opposed to, again, integrity to self, right? Who are you? Would you be happy to be yourself if your spouse, if your husband, your wife is no longer involved in the discussion? Would you be happy with yourself? That's a great mistake that a lot of people are making when it comes to relationship. They are much more concerned about holding their partner accountable as opposed to self-accountability. Self-accountability has nothing to do with guilt. Okay, the closest that most people think about this is they're thinking guilt. What did I do wrong? So of course they beat themselves up, and then again they have nothing to pour into another person. So that's another mistake that a lot of people make. Let me fly through this real quick. Mistake number 4, power imbalance. Okay, money, fame, age, influence. Maybe you don't have fame, but you have some level of money, you make some kind of money, you're richer than someone out there, right? Age, you're older than someone out there. Okay, forget someone out there. We're talking about your romantic partner, right? You might be making more money than them, or they make less money than you, right? You're older than them, or you're younger than them. Sometimes significantly, if you're anything 5 years above each other, it starts to create a certain type of dynamic. And if you're not prepared to learn how to mitigate the issues that come with that, then it will become a matter of power imbalance, right? And power imbalance is one of the grave elements that affect marriages today. Okay, so again, when we talk about money, do you make more money than your partner? And is this a decision that it goes into one pot? If it doesn't go into one pot, then that comes with its challenges. Okay, but the real mistake here is to pretend like everybody knows it should be a big deal. No, it's not really a big deal. No, it becomes a big deal. Trust me. The same thing with age gap, the same thing with influence gap, the same thing with distance gap, the same things with gap as related to race, right? Gap as related to color, yes. Gap as related to religion, right? Tribe, right? Even from town to town, people have their differences, and that can pose to be a threat to your relationship if you're not paying attention. So how do you mitigate that? Hold on one second. I'll see if I have some time. But these are the mistakes right here. Not paying attention to power imbalance. The key thing, let me say this before I move on to the next one. The key thing that you need to pay attention to is, number one, awareness. Okay. Number two, the way to mitigate that is to get your partner on your team. It's easier said than done. Okay, because sometimes it feels unfair. It feels like you're not holding them accountable, right? But I promise, I beg of you, what you need to do is get them on your team, and it's you as a team against the world. If you don't prioritize that, it's going to be you against your partner. And of course, it has nothing to do with good characters. Okay, because many of us have good character, but we don't understand that as a skill set. Okay. Has nothing to do with good character, integrity, all that nonsense, how you were raised, your upbringing, all those things you use to shame your partner. Flip it. You need to get your partner on your page. Come down to their level, go up to their level, meet them, match their energy at their level, get them on your team so that you can actually fight the forces of evil together. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Number 5, mistake number 5, using marriage to heal personal trauma. Marriage is an institution. Marriage does have a manual. Okay, marriage is not a place where you go to as a person of, if you're a trash person, that marriage is going to be trash. It's a function of the presence inside of it. Don't blame marriage, right? You can't say marriage is a scam where you are actually the scam. You are the scam, not the marriage. It's either you or your partner or both of you together. Well, guess what? If your partner is trash, you are trash. Remember what I said. I know you actively try to divide it and you blame your partner and you struggle with self-accountability. Remember, it's not about your personal character. It's about the dynamic of what you found yourself in. If you don't pay attention to the dynamic that you're creating regardless of what you think your character is or how you were raised, if you don't pay attention to that, you will collect. Okay, so stop thinking of this as a matter of a good character, a bad character. There are too many people with good and bad character, all of the above. Particularly good character at the divorce courts on all sides. It's not about that. It's about, do you have the skills to navigate life with another human being? Okay, you got into it with them, you don't like them, you think they're completely different from your type of character. Dump them, keep it moving. If you're not dumping them, then it's not as easy as you shaming and blaming them. You're probably trash yourself. And that's probably why you're creating trash marriage. And you can work on that. Let me tell you something. When it comes to marriage, just like life and every other area of life, right? Just like what do you call it? Your career, right? There are losers and there are winners. And you get to decide which side you want to get on. Hey Chinye, good afternoon, good to see you. That's what I have for you. It's actually, I don't have 2 bonuses for you. That was a typo. Those are 5 mistakes right there. Number 1, ego over accountability. Mistake number 2 of 5, public image replacing private integrity. Mistake number 3 of 5, is hyper focused on red flag for emotional soothing, for short-term emotional soothing as opposed to long-term emotional intelligence. Mistake number 4, power imbalance, not identifying that power is always at play. You cannot use kumbaya to pretend that there's no power at play. It's either you and your partner against the world or you against your partner. You have to choose one. There's no in between. Mistake number 5 of 5 is very simple. Using marriage, I'm trying to correct that last one. So at least I'll correct one before we move on here. Using marriage to heal your personal trauma. Work on yourself is a key thing here. Work on yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good to see you. That's all I have for you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
This is Ola Akman of Prestige, your favorite. This is Ola Akman of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.